Let's see how our application behaves after introducing the changes. After the refresh, some data appears, but it doesn't matter. It means that we've lost data about the selection because we've only set the content. Let's try to set the selection as well. Once again, we want to pass data from a specific column to a specific view. In our case, it'll be the CDone column passed to the RID item CB view. The result we've received was not the one we'd expect. Instead of setting the checkboxes, again, we set the set text. This is because, as a default, Simple Cursor Adapter can only set text. That is why it obtained the content value and set it to a checkbox, and then obtained the value of the done flag and set it as text to the checkbox, overwriting the old value. It seems that we need the possibility of a special procedure for the CDone column. In the case of an array adapter, we rewrote the entire getDone method. In the case of a simple cursor adapter, we don't need to. We have the ViewBinder available, which allows the special treatment of specific fields. We can specify certain mappings which we want to overwrite without allowing default implementation, only to react in a custom way without the need to create the entire view on our own and setting particular values. ViewBinder is an interface which has to be implemented. So we create a ViewBinder object from the simple cursor adapter. We create its anonymous implementation. We have an anonymous class where we have an implemented setViewValue method. This method takes 3 parameters. The first of them is a view which we want to set data to. In our case, it will be calling item CB twice. The second parameter is a cursor, which is currently set to the line to be displayed at a given time. The final parameter is a position inside the cursor. Actually, it's an index of the currently processed column inside the given line. In order to correctly implement the handling of the done flag selection, first of all, we need to check which column was called. We check whether the current index is an index of the content column or the done column. The cursor has a special method named getColumnIndex. Here we provide the column name and receive the column index in the given line. In our case, we are interested in ToDoDeo CDone. We want to check whether the index of the current column equals the index of the CDone column. If so, we'll want to overwrite the implementation. We'll want to handle this call in a special way. If we know that we're currently in the done column, we can assume that if we have the mappings from the done column on the checkbox, the view is also a checkbox. Because of this, we can carry out casting and set the value to the checkbox. Here we need the selection value. In order to get it, we have to extract it from the database. As I've mentioned, the base doesn't store Boolean values, only integer numbers. Automatic mapping takes place. That's why we'll also have to carry out such a mapping. We extract the int value using the getInt method and passing I. That is, the position of the column we want to download. In order to obtain a Boolean value from an int, we have to check whether the numerical value is more than 0. If it is a 0, the expression is false. It looks like the handling is ready. However, if we handle it this way, we'll still receive binary values after refreshing the list. This is because, even though we've implemented a custom version, the default implementation is executed. We have to inform our adapter that we don't want the default mapping, that is, calling the setText method and passing the string to it, but that we'll handle it on our own. That's why we have to return true in our method. This means that we've handled the mapping on our own, and we don't need the default implementation. We just need to set the view binder on our adapter. This way, we inform that it's this class that will deal with the mapping. After the launch, again, we have the list, where we can see the contents and selections. This data is obtained directly from the database. Currently, we have an empty screen at the first application launch directly after it's finished, and we have to refresh the list manually. In fact, we already have the lines in the database. Because of this, the part responsible for refreshing data after loading can be safely moved to the refresh cursor method, and this method can be used directly after creating the adapter, or right after setting it. Thanks to this, the start automatically involves reading the data which is currently in the database, and we have a list display, which is obtained and stored in the database without the need to refresh. In order to test whether our reading and writing mechanism works correctly, we can try to refresh the data which appears on the other side as new data. To do so, we'll use the web interface I've already mentioned. We add a new task and call a refresh on the server side. Because the sorting order is ascending, our data can be found at the very end. If we want to have the reverse order, we have to pass false as the second parameter in the refresh method. It causes the order by to change. Now we have the newest elements at the very top. We can refresh them, which causes the newest elements to be downloaded and placed in the database. The only thing left is to handle adding new elements from the side of the mobile device. We'll deal with that in the next module.